Hello and welcome to Secrets of Organ Playing podcast. We are your hosts, Vidas
and Ausra Pinkevičienė.
We've been mastering secrets of organ playing for more than 20 years and sharing them on this blog since 2011.
On this show, which we create from our home in Vilnius, Lithuania, we strive to help you grow in every area of organ playing, including practice, technique, repertoire, sight reading, hymn playing, improvisation, composition, music theory, harmony, and many others.
Our hope is to help you become a complete musician, or what we call as total organist, a program which we have created to help you reach your dreams faster than you would do on your own.
If you are new here, we invite you to subscribe to receive free updates of this blog at organduo.lt. By subscribing, you will also receive free video how to master any organ composition and 10-day organ playing mini course.
And now let's go to the podcast for today. Hi guys, this is Vidas.
And Ausra.
Let's start episode 411 of Secrets of Organ Playing podcast. This question was sent by Michael and he writes, Hello Vidas and Ausra, I would very much enjoy an episode of Secrets of Organ Playing where you discuss the compositional characteristics of Max Reger's organ music, as well as what compositional processes Reger employs that makes his music so recognizably his own. Thank you both, Michael. Have you played a few pieces by Reger, Ausra?
Yes, I have.
Me too. I think Reger is a very special composer, don't you think?
Well, definitely. Once you played it, you will never forget him.
Yeah, some people hate him and some people adore him. But there are probably none who, are simply neutral.
Well, I guess it's true.
Who know his music, of course. There are plenty of people who don't know his music, then of course they don't have an opinion.
True, and I believe that it's like, Brahms and Wagner. If somebody loves Wagner, probably don't like Brahms, and vice versa.
So, Reger, I think we need to look at his influences, right? He definitely loves Bach's music.
Well, in general, I would say that he is sort of neoclassical composer. Don't you think so?
Yeah, that's because he is so polyphonic.
Yes, and look at all those forms that he chose to compose his compositions. I remember I have played 6 trios by him, and that's definitely, Bach's influence. So then he composed passacalias and fugues, which is again, Baroque influence, and probably Bach's influence too. And then, of course, chorale fantasias, which are also comes from probably Northern German composers.
And most of the fantasias have fugues.
That's right. And then, of course, sonatas, yes?
Three sonatas.
Yes. Which is, again, the classic form of the music. So he, of course, was influenced, by classical forms and by Bach especially. But although he was influenced by those early times, his musical language is very much different. So he took the classical forms, but, executed them in different ways. So would you like to tell us more about his musical language with us?
Yeah, he died in 1916, so that was the beginning of 20th century, the age of maybe, let's say, a mix of several stylistical influences, right? We already have probably very well established late Romanticism, but it's going towards the end. Then what do we have then? We probably have Impressionism at the similar time, and also we might have Expressionism too, right? So a few influences at the same time. With Reger, I would say he's mostly late romantic with chromatical harmony, right? Probably not too different from Brahms.
Yes, I thought about that. But we have some similarities.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we are very different, but also have some similarities in the musical language.
Exactly. So remember those two influences, late Romanticism and a polyphonic style derived from Bach. And basically, those two influences clash and create his own unique style.
What about difficulty? Would you advise beginners to play Reger's music?
Complete beginner, no, but there is that wonderful 30 short chorale prelude collection, 135B.
And it again reminds Bach, his short chorales, like Orgelbüchlein.
Mm-hmm. By the way, those short chorale preludes are bonus material for my organ sight reading master course. At the end of the 40th week, I give also a few weeks of Reger's chorale preludes just to let people sight read in legato style more, not only in articulated style.
Well, what do you think about his texture in general, not in trio pieces, but let's say in chorale fantasies? How do you like his texture? Do you think it's easy to to control everything?
For some people, yes, because I've heard that some people have 6 fingers.
You make me laugh.
I think Hannibal Lecter had 6 fingers.
But okay, he was not a real person.
Could be. But again, if you have just 5 fingers and very small hands, then probably those thick textures are not for you. Trios are okay.
Yes, you could play trios, definitely. And maybe some of his compositions you need to choose wisely. Probably not be fantasy based on BACH theme.
Mm-hmm.
But I have heard that some people play Reger, but they omit some of inner voices. Do you think it's a wise solution? Would you recommend to do it?
Well, yes and no. If you can play everything, then of course, by all means, do. But sometimes the tempo is very fast and inner voices are doubling each other. Then in some tricky passages might be also suitable to omit something. What do you think?
Well, the thing that interests me most is that Reger was a good friend with Karl Straube,
Mm-hmm.
who at his lifetime was considered to be the best living organ performer
In Germany.
Yes, and only Marcel Dupré in France could compete with him. So we had like Marcel Dupré in Paris, and we had Karl Straube in Germany. And I have heard that Karl Straube did a good deal of arranging Reger's Reger's music, and I don't know if that's good or not, because if you will take such a piece as, quite famous fantasy and fugue, actually double fugue, of Opus 135B.
B?
Yes.
So chorale preludes are 135A then?
I believe, yes, because I think that fantasy is 135B. It has, fantasy and then 2 fugues, and at the end, double fugue. It's quite, quite a nice piece. It's a little bit, I think, easier than BACH probably, but it's hard enough, especially the second fugue, because of its lively tempo and of its theme. But what I want to tell about it, that there are 2 editions of. One is made by Straube, where he cut quite a large portion of the piece itself, and another edition of Reger's original. So if you are really interested in Reger's music, compare those 2 editions and then see what you think about it.
Do you prefer the long version?
Well, if I would have to learn this piece fast, then I would prefer the short version, because it's much easier, because that larger version is much more difficult.
It's like BACH fantasy then?
Yes, then it is.
This kind of scale.
So, because I know about this piece, I'm not sure about other pieces, how much, Straube put his hand on those pieces.
But if we are talking about omitting inner voices, would you do that?
No, because when, the harmony loses its richness, because I think that's, the sort of outstanding feature of Reger, his rich harmony and thick texture.
And doubling the voices actually was common in late Romanticism. Brahms did it.
Well, yes, and of course you need to be careful on which organ you will perform Reger's music, because I'm sure it will not work for, let's say, some purely mechanical instruments. It would be probably almost impossible to execute it well. Imagine us playing Reger at St. John's. I don't think this would be such a great idea, because most of things you have to play, legato, and when you have this thick texture, it makes it almost impossible, although acoustic might help. And Reger, I think, created his music mainly for what? For specific German romantic organs. For Sauer, yes.
Sauer.
And maybe Walker, too.
It could be, but mostly
for Sauer, so. And it has that, tremendous crescendo pedal. So basically you could, register it only by using this, crescendo pedal. And it makes life much easier, actually.
By the way, we will hear Reger's Fantasy and Fugue in D minor this Saturday, performed on St. John's Organ by one of our colleagues here. Good luck.
Well, I won't go longer, on that matter.
Yeah, it's a torture for the instrument too.
That's right, especially for an instrument.
So, excellent. Thank you guys for sending these wonderful questions. We love helping you grow. And when you consider those elements by Reger, always analyze the piece that you're playing. If it's interesting to you, you will get deeper knowledge this way about the fugue, about fantasies, about chorale fantasias, about all those trios and chorale preludes, sonatas that we mentioned before. Look them up and dig deeper. It's really worth it. Okay, and remember, when you practice,
miracles happen.
This blog is supported by Total Organist, the most comprehensive organ training program online. where you will find courses for every area of organ playing, including technique, practice, sight reading, repertoire playing, hymn playing, improvisation, composition, music theory and harmony, with hundreds of scores and thousands of exercises. Here is what some of the students are saying.
Hugh writes, "The sight reading course has helped me tremendously. Thank you very much for your essays, courses, and all your help."
Robert writes, "I found the fingerings, registration ideas, and general comments to be excellent."
John writes, "I have found your download very helpful. It was really excellent. I have watched some of your teaching videos, and when I read your instructions, I tried to imagine you were teaching me. You may feel disappointed that I am 2-3 days behind, but I am a slow learner, and I have committed to taking the time to get it right, as you say. But the other night my wife commented that she had never heard me play such a detailed melody in the left hand so well. My left hand is generally poor."
Robert writes, "It has been a great pleasure in my life of having discovered your courses and material as well as the YouTube work of recordings. You have a calm and pleasant way of teaching."
Ron writes, "Hi Vidas and Ausra, thank you guys. What a wonderful response to my email note to you. You've got me right, and I feel you understand my level of playing. Yes, at home, and lucky that I have an organ for that reason. I am paying attention to this, and I am going to try this haha no longer secret model. Yes, and I love Cesar Frank too. What is very nice about your blog podcast is that Ausra